And good morning, everyone. Welcome to this day here on Tuesday, December 18th. And we're going to start to warm up a bit with the weather. I'll tell you about that in just a moment. On our show today from the Duplicate Bridge Club, we have John Luby is here, and he's brought along a guest, and Margaret Bennett, and she's going to talk about, well, both of them together, a couple things that are coming up. One of them in January, it's called Learn Bridge in a Day, right? They've been doing this for a few years, so they'll tell you all about that coming up. Also from Dream Vacations, Diane Mendoza is here, and she's going to talk about how, well, she can help you maybe take a cruise or find that perfect vacation. And our friend Richard Palmer is here, and with the Tea Party Sentinels, although there's no meeting this month, he just wants to come on and wish everyone a happy holiday and tell us maybe what he has planned for the new year. And then we're going to bring you a segment from Hogue. Now, as far as meetings go, today, Third, of course, has their regular monthly board meeting, 9:30 in the boardroom. Also at 9:30, GRF is doing their agenda prep in the Sycamore Room. And then later on, United has their governing documents review committee, and that will also be in the Sycamore Room, and that will be at 1:30. Now, let's get to the weather. If you're watching us in the morning, a little cloudy out there. Those clouds should break up a bit. We're going to start to warm up just a bit today, but more so as we get to Wednesday and Thursday with some offshore breezes coming in as well. And as we move forward, you can see a little bit more clouds coming in on Saturday. Sunday looks to be about the same, but right now they are unfortunately predicting, we need the rain, but predicting rain for Christmas Day. So there's a system that's going to be coming down here, and right now it's not pinned down, but there is that chance that maybe Christmas Eve into Christmas, and then maybe even the next day some rain coming in. So we'll see about that. Speaking of rain last night at our house about 8:30. We just got a downpour. I mean, it lasted for maybe about 10 minutes, a little bit longer. We got about 1/10 of an inch out of it. I went online, looked at the radars out there. There was nothing, no indication of any rain anywhere, but we did get it in. It was just a little pocket that came here in South Orange County, and it was kind of nice. So watered everything. Don't have to worry about my sprinklers coming on for another week. All right, let's look around Orange County today, and as you see, things are a bit warmer. Yesterday, everything was about, what was it, about 63, 64. The beaches are still that, but everything is up by anywhere from 3 to 5 degrees today. That'll warm up again tomorrow and still again on Thursday. Big Bear 53 and Palm Springs 76. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
I just love that ring. Where'd you get it?
I got it at the jewelry box. I saw it on Facebook, and then I went in and bought it. They have the most unique, awesome pre-owned pieces for amazing prices.
The Jewelry Box of Lake Forest, voted best jewelry store in Orange County for 8 straight years, offering unmatched prices on fine jewelry and watches, refurbished to new condition.
Visit us in our store or shop our website for just arrived items.
The Jewelry Box. It's about trust.
When other dealers say no, Capistrano Toyota says, yes, we can. Low payments? Yes, we can. Low financing for all types of credit? Yes, we can. Capistrano Toyota features 10 acres of new and certified pre-owned Toyotas, plus many used cars priced below $10,000. When other dealers say no, Capistrano Toyota says, yes, we can. Exit 5 freeway at Camino Capistrano.
Do you hear but not understand? I have good news for you. A proprietary system for verifying hearing correction, Verified Best Speech Clarity, is now available through the All-American Hearing Network. This means hearing improvement can now be verified and documented. Your individual hearing correction is guaranteed in writing. Call today to reserve your complimentary private consultation and experience word clarity dialed back into focus on the spot. Try AMP, the world's smallest hearing aid at an unbelievably small price, just $750. It's ready to go in one visit, comfortable to wear, and virtually invisible when worn. Yes, you can now have verified best speech clarity. Hear every word. Call today to reserve your complimentary private consultation and experience word clarity dialed back into focus on the spot, risk-free.
Welcome back. I have John Lube and Margaret Bennett who are here with the Bridge Club. They've got two very exciting upcoming events that we need to tell you about. So welcome both of you. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
So John, let's start with you. Tell me a little bit about the Bridge Club. I know you've been on before, but maybe there's some new people who haven't heard.
Well, the Bridge Club's one of the largest clubs in Laguna Woods. It has about 600 members, and we're part of a bigger organization called American Contract Bridge League.
Okay.
And so it's a national organization that runs bridge clubs all over the country. Okay. And I think there's 3,200 or something like that bridge clubs around the country.
Wow.
And we're probably the second largest in the country. At one time we were the largest, but a club in New York combined, and they became a little bigger than we are.
Man, so 600 members, that's a lot.
It is.
That's a lot. Is it all on one day, or is it varying days?
We play bridge almost every day of the week.
Okay.
Usually the game is from 12:30 to 4, and we have about 160 to 200 people a day playing bridge.
Man, that is a lot of people.
And there's most of the bridge is duplicate bridge, but a couple of days a week there's progressive bridge. Mm-hmm. And our programs in teaching bridge and learning bridge are for anybody. It isn't necessarily just duplicate. It would be for anybody that wants to learn bridge, and it's a great social game, great game for your brain. You might expand on that.
Yes, let me. I'm proud to say that Laguna Woods has something unique in the world of bridge in that they combined with a world-renowned research institute to do a longitudinal study, which means over a 25-year period. Mm-hmm. And the research institute is the University of California, Irvine. Okay. And the study showed not only the benefits of bridge, but ranked bridge as #1 in maintaining your cognitive skills and deferring any kind of dementia or problems with your brain later in life.
So now, why bridge versus anything else?
Well, it stretches your brain, and you never learn all there is. It's an ongoing process of learning. So there's a competitive aspect, there's a learning aspect, and it's a social aspect.
Right.
And so it's a great game to learn for life.
So when there's a counting and an adding and things like that too,
it's a partnership game, so you have to communicate, and counting is very important. Mm-hmm. If you really don't count, you can't improve your game. I mean, you're not only counting the cards and what has been played, but you're trying to estimate what points either you or your partner or your opponents have, so you can figure out where the winning cards are.
Pretty strategic moves, right?
Yes.
Okay, and I know that.
And it's fun.
Well, and it's fun too. You guys, well, I don't think if you have 600 members, so something's going right.
And I think the social aspect is really important too, because it gets you up every day, it gets you dressed, gets your makeup and your hair done, and it gets you out there in the world.
John, you just makeup and hair?
There are some benefits. I met my wife in the beginning bridge class.
There you go. That's
here
great.
in Laguna Woods.
Right. Well, you're right. I mean, the social aspect of it is important. And, for those people who say, I don't want to go out or I want to do anything, but that would just be a nice way to get out, like you said, even just to learn, right? Or meet people or whatever you need to do.
So we have a class coming up on January 20th.
Okay.
That is for anybody that is interested in learning to play bridge.
Okay.
You don't have to have any experience. You don't have to know an ace from a king. But it's a process where you can learn the game.
Okay.
And it's a one-day program that you kind of gets the basics of learning bridge.
Okay.
And it's on January 20th. Mm-hmm. And from, I think, 10:30 there's coffee. The lessons start from 11 to 4.
Right.
And there'll be a lunch involved and that type of a thing.
Okay.
And we have 2 instructors that are nationally certified that are doing it.
Okay.
And it's just a great program to get started. Then we'll have a follow-up class after that to learn, to keep you interested and learn a little bit more about it, find a partner, those kinds of things.
Okay.
That'll start after that Learn Bridge in a Day.
Okay, and that was a $25 cost, and that includes lunch, correct?
Well, bagels first and then lunch later.
Lunch.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
And study materials. There are
good.
handouts
Okay.
that the students can keep and refer to later.
Oh, good, good. And they can bring those. Can they bring those with them to play bridge as well? The instructions or not?
Well, in the beginning bridge classes, you can. Once you get into a certain level, you can't have aids. You have to, rely on your memory.
Okay, gotcha.
There
gotcha,
you go.
Yeah.
The memory.
Sometimes I have to have my little cheat sheet. So. Okay, and then Margaret, let's talk about what you provide. So Bridge Basics.
Yes, we're using the Audrey Grant series.
Okay.
It's a series of 3 books. And so there's 3 sets of lessons.
Okay.
The first session I taught starting on October 5th, and it ran through the beginning of December. And it really covered most of what they cover in Learn Bridge in a Day. As John said, you don't even have to have ever played cards before, because we start at the very beginning. There are 52 cards in a deck, there are 4 suits, and the value of the aces, kings, queens, and jacks.
Okay.
So we really start people from the beginning. But there's also people that played a bridge in college, and they want a refresher, and they want to learn the new techniques.
Exactly.
Because bridge is an evolving game. Actually, it's 300 or 400 years in an evolution, and we keep improving on techniques to communicate to our partner exactly what we have in our hand and where we should be going to either make a contract or defeat the opponents.
Okay, well, it sounds very interesting. So that starts January 4th and it goes through February 15th.
Yes, that's the second session.
Oh, okay, and it's 7 classes.
Correct.
Okay, and that was for $50 for all 7 classes. Or
Correct.
you can do $8 for a single session.
Yes, and then of course you need to buy the book, and we provide the book. It's a total of $12.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
And the book is wonderful because not only does it reinforce the lesson, but there are examples. There are hands that you can review and learn from on your own. And I really encourage students after the lesson to go back and keep reinforcing what you're learning, because it's like building blocks.
Okay.
You start at the very beginning, and then you add this level and you add this level, and that's what makes the game so exciting.
So I want to ask both of you 2 questions, and I want to hear each of your answers. So in your opinion, what is the most fun about bridge, and what is the most challenging?
Well, the most fun is meeting new people and having experiences. We get to go to tournaments in many different places in the world. As a matter of fact, I took a cruise of the Western Caribbean, and I competed in bridge on the cruise, so that was fun. But we go to places like, I've been to Hawaii to play bridge, and Las Vegas. You don't have to go to play bridge in Las Vegas, but I did.
Yeah.
Next year I'm going to San Francisco.
Okay.
So I'm doing a little bit of traveling, but more important for me is I have met so many wonderful people who have enriched my life in so many different ways.
Right.
So that's the fun part. The challenging part is the game itself, because there are so many components to it. Basically, there's the bidding, and then there's the play of the hand. If you bid and win the contract, you have to be able to make that contract. And then, if you're an opponent, you have to be able to defeat that contract just by what cards you play. That's how you communicate to your partner, by the card you play. If it's high, it means one thing. If it's low, it means another thing.
Oh, I see.
And it's like peeling back an onion.
Right.
And just learning. The more you learn about bridge, the more you realize you need to learn.
So there's more layers after layers.
Yes.
Lots of layers. You never learn all of it.
Right. And how about for you?
Well, several things. My wife and I love to travel to play the bridge tournaments as well. So we were in Palm Springs recently. We're going on a bridge cruise in March. And so that's fun. But I think the game itself is the most fun to learn. Figure out why somebody else made one more trick than I did, or why I did better than somebody else. The competition of it, to me, is the exciting part of the game.
All right. And how about the most challenging?
Keep learning.
Yeah, keep learning.
Keep getting better at it.
Okay.
If you're a lifelong learner,
Yeah.
This is the game for you.
Oh, well, it sounds very exciting. And the fact that you travel to compete is really interesting, too, that there's actually, I mean, I guess for any type of sport or card game, you could probably find that. But I like the fact that all these
Well,
folks...
it's kind of like when I grew up, I traveled to play golf. Well, now I play golf and I play bridge.
There you go. You can maybe there's a combined one where you can do golf and bridge. Oh, is there really? Yes. That is awesome.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. That's great. Well, thank you both so much. So we've got you with your classes starting January 4th through February 15th.
The second of 3 parts.
Right. Okay,
yes.
the second of 3 parts. All right, got it. And then for you, January 20th.
Right. I just want to add on one thing. What the Bridge Club does is about 2 or 3 sometimes a year, they offer classes for people to learn bridge.
Okay.
So it's an ongoing thing. You know, her class started in October for a beginning bridge. Now she's doing the second part of it. We're starting a brand new Learn Bridge in January 20th, and there'll probably be another one in the spring.
Right.
But there are always, you know, opportunities to get involved and learn bridge.
Okay. You don't have to always just wait for the class. You can come at certain times during the week or the month. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you both so much. It was very nice to hear about all the exciting stuff going on at the Bridge Club.
Okay,
it's fun.
Very good.
All right, thank you. And as you've heard, bridge is fun. So you guys get out there and get in touch with them and start either a new opportunity or refresh an old one. We'll be right back after this.
I'm coming for you, Cancer. With California Protons, I now have the technology and expertise to fight with unmatched precision. I'll zero in and wear you down with radiation, millimeter by millimeter. You won't weaken me. I'll spare my tissues and protect myself against future threats. Cancer, you're history. I'm looking to the future.
The holidays are here. Let Diane's Hallmark help you with all your gift-giving needs with a wide selection of gifts as well as Hallmark Christmas cards and ornaments. Diane's Hallmark can help you get into the holiday spirit. We also carry fine women's clothing, jewelry, and accessories. And don't forget that we carry Bibles, Christian books, and gifts as well. Come in today and see it all. Diane's Hallmark is located in the Walmart Shopping Center next to Hobby Lobby.
Hi, I'm Brian Rott, President and CEO of Cartmart here in Laguna Woods. My family's been in the golf cart business since 1959, and we win our customers over with the simple belief of we treat you right. We are proud to be the authorized dealer for Club Car here in Orange County and your go-to source for the sales and service to other major brands. We're conveniently located on El Toro Road, just minutes from Laguna Woods. So come by and see for yourself, while when doing business with Cartmart, there's no reason to go anywhere else.
When you travel with AAA, you get more than a vacation. You get exclusive AAA member benefits, special offers on unforgettable experiences, and the travel planning knowledge of your own AAA travel agent. When you travel with AAA, you get the vacation of your dreams. To save on a pleasant holidays vacation, visit your local AAA travel agent today.
Kiana Lee. Today, we're talking with Dr. Christine Chung. Today's topic is gum disease. Doctor, what do we need to know about gum disease? Mom.
Oh, I'm sorry. Gum disease is an infection of the tissue that support and surround your teeth. It's a major cause of tooth loss in adults, but it's an easy fix.
Thank you, doctor. So don't wait, people. Come on in and get your 7-day dental smile.
Welcome back. If you love to travel, then I have the perfect person who's with me today, Diane Mendoza, who's with Dream Vacations, and she's going to tell us a little bit about what it's like to travel, maybe do some cruising. I mean, very exciting stuff coming up. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Lisa. I'm happy to be here.
Nice to have you on. So tell me a little bit about your background, and we just kind of touched on a little bit. You've been doing this about 12 years, right?
That's correct, Lisa.
Okay, all right. And before you were doing something totally different.
Totally different, a little stressful.
Yeah, so you had a different kind of job and you got into this, and why did you get into doing this?
Well, actually, like Walt Disney, it started with a mouse. I took a magical family vacation on a beautiful ship, and it was just something I needed to do over and over again, and invite all my friends and family to do it as well. And that's how I got started in travel.
Okay, so cruising is like your top thing.
It's one of my top things,
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you were going to talk a little bit about a river cruise, tell me a little bit about it. I mean, river cruise is different than the Disney cruise that you're talking about. So if you were going to compare the two, what would be some of the differences?
There are a lot of differences, actually. With ocean cruising, you're traveling to different countries. And with river cruising, you're traveling through different countries. So you're going through many different rivers, and many times you're just stepping off your boat and you are immersed in those little charming villages or those iconic cities like Cologne and Frankfurt. What I enjoy about river cruising, it's a slower paced vacation.
Okay.
So you're busy throughout the day, but you're not worn out like you would be on an ocean cruise.
Right, right.
And the views are very different as well. On an ocean cruise, you're going to be just seeing mainly water until you come into port, and that port may be a little industrial.
Right.
But in a river cruise, you're going through maybe the Wachau Valley, you're going through Austria, Frankfurt, Germany, and you've got rolling green hills and beautiful castles and historical sites along the way.
Well, that is very different, and I know the ships aren't as large because you can't get through those areas. So tell me what the river cruising ship has.
Well, the unique thing is that it's very intimate because, Lisa, there's maybe 100 to 200 people on board with you. So you get to know fellow passengers, like-minded people like yourself. You get to know the captain, maybe take a bridge tour, and the staff ends up calling you by name. But it's very lovely. In fact, many people will meet other people on board and then travel again in the future. So they make lifelong relationships.
Well, and like you said, there's only, what, 200 people versus 3,000 people. And so when you talk about ocean cruising, which many people do, and they do like the large ship and all the different things there is to do. So what kind of person do you think would be one that would like that kind of ship?
Well, because the waters are very shallow and very calm, many people suffer from a little bit, or they're sensitive to motion. So the river cruise would eliminate that because you're in shallow waters, land's always in sight. And I think that would be a good fit for somebody that would need that.
Okay, all right, good. And then so we're kind of gearing more towards the river cruising here during our discussion. Dietary needs. I mean, many people have certain food items that they can and cannot eat. So is that accommodated?
Absolutely. Most dietary concerns can be addressed.
Okay.
In fact, I put one river cruise to the test. I actually advised that I was lactose intolerant just to see how they would accommodate my clients on board. And I was really impressed by how the head chef and also the maitre d' would go over the menus with me.
Okay.
And we would make some changes to those or substitutions with some ingredients.
Oh.
In fact, they make wonderful soups on board the ships. And they were able to make just an alternate soup and desserts for me. So I was really quite impressed.
Wow.
But the funny thing, Lisa, is I found out later I was actually lactose intolerant. So,
great.
I don't know.
Well, that's nice that they were able to accommodate it, because you wonder if things are sort of pre-done as opposed to custom. So that really is more of a custom.
The food these are whole foods, and they're regional foods, they're fresh.
Okay.
And you're actually dining the regions you're visiting. So like going through Germany, we were enjoying schnitzels and
Nice.
the German sausages, the white sausages are so good.
Okay.
So you'll enjoy authentic cuisine, but then there's also American classics in there as well. So there's something for everybody.
So there's choices. Okay. And then let's talk a little bit about how you work. So you're considered a travel specialist, or what would you call yourself?
I would call myself a vacation specialist.
Okay.
Cruise and land
All right.
vacations. And I offer the gift of time back to my clients. Sometimes it's maybe 30 hours putting a trip together, and so I like to give that back to clients. And I like to be their travel advocate. I've been to many countries that they're considering. I have personal knowledge as well. So I feel like I'm a really good value and asset that way. And I'm also going to give unbiased opinion. So normally, Lisa, if you were to call maybe a hotel or go online with a specific vendor, they're going to want you to book their hotel or their cruise line because there's salespeople on the phone. But after I've met my client and understand what their needs are, I go ahead and put together a couple options that best fit their needs. I don't have an ulterior motive to sell them on a particular product because I want them to be happy.
So now, if I was to call you and I said, okay, we really wanted to book this particular river cruise and this trip, but I don't know anything about any of them. So would you come to their home, or do you have an office that they go to, or how does that work?
Yes, as a resident, I do come to my clients' homes. And many people like to have me over in the comfort of their home, or we can meet somewhere in the village. And I would like to find out what you'd be looking forward to doing. A lot of people have dreams in their minds and experiences of what they want to do. So my job is to kind of just find out what you're looking for, and then knowing my products and knowing my destinations, I put together some suggestions for you. And then, of course, be mindful of your budget. And then sometimes there's families traveling together, so maybe Joey wants to do something different than Sarah. So there's always, the children to consider as well, because we want them to be immersed as well.
I used someone similar to what you do many years ago for Europe, and I had never been. And what I found so nice is that not only did you book all of my hotels and everything I was doing, but the transfers. And see, I think people forget that you have to get from point A to point B because you don't have a car, you don't know the bus routes, so the transfers were really important.
There's a lot of missing pieces, and unfortunately things do happen. I do pick up your 2 a.m. call when unforeseen circumstances
And we had one of those too. We did.
It happens. In fact, I just had a client in the village here that her shuttle canceled. All that rain we had at the end of November. And it was just no time to schedule anything else. So I grabbed my keys and we just drove down to San Diego Cruise Terminal. And we got to know each other a little better.
Well, you got to do what you got to do. And I think that's more like a personal concierge. I mean, you really do. It's like a travel concierge. You really take care of from start to finish.
I had to do it.
That's great. Well, that's excellent. That's excellent. So what do you have coming up that would be very exciting for someone to know about?
Well, I'm escorting about 3 tours next year. So I'm doing a little river cruising in May, and then going back to Alaska out of round trip LA. And then there's an early December Caribbean opportunity, Southern Caribbean, which are the most beautiful ports in my opinion. So this would be coming into New York first for a couple of nights, maybe seeing a Broadway show, and then we'll board our ship, and it's so beautiful to sail out of Manhattan. It's really breathtaking. So it's a nice little trip before the holidays.
So that's for next year.
That's for next year.
Next year. And how early do they have to book?
Actually, for best availability, as soon as possible.
And then is there just do you give a deposit type of a thing?
That's the beauty of cruising. There's a small deposit commitment in the beginning.
And did you say you're going to go with them on the cruise?
You betcha.
Wow. Not only are you helping them, but you're a guide too. I like that.
And everybody has my room number too.
That's kind of scary. All right. Well, perfect. Well, in order to get in touch with you, we've got your contact information. They can call you at 949-652-5177, or they could email you at d.mendoza@dreamvacations.com. Is that all correct?
That's correct.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And good luck and have fun traveling.
Well, thank you.
And we'll be right back after this. Don't forget to get out there and see the world. We'll be right back after this.
I was unable to achieve erection. Being single and when searching for a partner, that was always in the forefront of my thinking. I wanted to find a more natural solution.
Lasara offers the only clinically proven medical treatment that reverses erectile dysfunction without the use of pills, needles, or surgery.
I'm just really grateful to Lasara. This is the best decision I could ever have made.
Call now for the Laguna Woods Special.
I started Sterling Financial under the premise that there was a need for integrity in this industry as well as quality service.
There's such volatility in the stock market. One day it could be up 100 points, the next day it could be down 500 points. Well, what we like to do is be able to have people go to bed and wake up the next morning knowing that their money is safe and secure.
That's what we try to do here at Sterling Financial Advisors, is to create peace of mind and quality of life in retirement.
Would you like to save money like we do? I want to introduce you to our granddaughter, Erin Reed, who's a Medicare advisor. Erin, can you save my neighbors and friends money as you have done with Grandpa and me?
Many of the plans I offer have $0 monthly premiums and can help save you money. There are many different options out there when it comes to Medicare coverage, and I represent all of them. But more importantly, I represent you as the individual. Call today for a free plan comparison.
I choose to make friends out of neighbors.
I choose to start a new chapter.
I choose to live an active lifestyle.
Choose to experience the good life at Villa Valencia. Call or visit us today.
Hi, I'm Wendy Miller, your Laguna Woods real estate professional. Have you been looking for a realtor?
Wendy Miller helped me through the challenging process of real estate here in Laguna Woods. She was helpful, she was fun, she was professional. I really recommend her.
Whether you're thinking of buying, selling, downsizing, or even relocating within Laguna Woods, I am your real estate professional and can help guide you through the entire process. Give me a call and I'll help you make the right move.
And with me right now is Richard Palmer of the Tea Party Sentinels. And although you don't have a meeting this month, you wanted to come on and kind of say happy holidays to folks and a few other things as well.
I certainly do.
Great.
I want to wish everybody a very happy Hanukkah and a Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year's. But my main purpose today is to let everybody know we're not having a meeting this December.
Right, right.
We're having a great meeting in January. So
yeah, and that's normal. You usually skip it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But the only political thing I want to mention is that although 2018 elections were a little disappointing for Republicans, I think we have to keep the faith because the Democrats they're going to self-destruct with higher taxes. They're already threatening to change Prop 13 on businesses, so that's going to kill all the businesses in California and the real estate people. So it could be pretty devastating, and I think it will lead us back to a 2020 victory at that election. So that's what I wanted to say. But in other words, I remember when Ronald Reagan was president, he cut a deal with the Democrats to build a wall. If the Democrats let him build the wall, and he would let in a lot of illegal aliens.
Right.
Well, what happened? The illegal aliens came in, but the Democrats backed out of the deal. So I just hope if the Democrats cave to Trump this year, he better watch because it could happen again.
Okay.
That's my only concern. So anyway, the only thing other things I have to say is may the peace and wonders of the holiday season inspire us in this coming year. May your 2019 continue to be filled with engaging activities, good health, and fulfilling friendships, and equally important, less aches and pains for all our citizens here.
All right, very nice.
So that's what I wanted to say.
All right. Happy holidays to you.
Yeah,
Merry
thank
Christmas,
you,
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
We'll see you in about a month.
Yep, that's right.
All right, take care, Richard.
Thank you very much.
We'll be right back. How do you read that?
Are you looking for a better way to manage your medication? MedBox by AmeriPharma has redefined the pharmacy experience. No more pill organizers and vials. When we fill your prescriptions, you get all your medications conveniently packaged by the dose and delivered to your door at no additional cost. This means no change in insurance, copays, or out-of-pocket expenses. Call our specialists today and discover the new way of pharmacy. MedBox by AmeriPharma.
And I'd like to welcome back, and I say back because she was with us some time ago, Dr. Sadia Khan, and she is the breast surgical oncologist and advisor with the Hoag Breast Program. Welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great to have you here today.
Great to be
So this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and you know, I think one of the topics the people often bring up is we have great tests, we have mammograms and things like that, but is how to prevent it to start with. And I know a lot of this has to do with their background, with their family history, but are there ways beyond that that people can look into to maybe help prevent it or take steps that it's less likely that they may get breast cancer?
There's definitely things that women can do to reduce the risk of breast cancer. There's probably 5 very common things that women don't think about on an everyday basis that can reduce your risk. So one of them that's very simple is exercising. It's recommended to do 150 minutes of moderate exercise every week, and that alone can reduce your risk of breast cancer.
Oh, okay.
So I try to tell my patients, do something easy that doesn't cost a lot of money, just walking around the neighborhood. So if you do that 3 times a week for an hour, you've met that requirement.
Right, okay.
Another easy thing is just watching what we're eating. So food that we intake every day does affect our risk for breast cancer. So just trying to be mindful and have a more healthy diet that consists of a well-balanced amount of vegetables. Darker leafy greens are considered to be antioxidants, so they're thought to be healthier. Not everybody's favorite thing to eat, but you can find fun ways to eat healthy. Also, maintaining a healthy weight is thought to reduce your risk of breast cancer because obesity is considered a risk factor for breast cancer. So trying to be in our healthy body mass index or BMI range will be helpful. Also, no amount of smoking is safe.
Right.
And even alcohol intake is a risk factor for breast cancer, which isn't most commonly known. So it's recommended to try to get down to less than a drink a day.
Okay. Now, in Orange County, it seems to have a high incidence of breast cancer.
Yes.
What do you think the reasons are?
So they've done some population studies on 2 different counties in California are thought to be the higher incidences. So Orange County is definitely one of them, and the other one is Marin County in Northern California.
Wow.
Both of the communities are thought to be a much more affluent community.
Yeah.
And so when you have an affluent population, the thoughts are that women have better access to screening mammograms, meaning that they're more likely to go get a mammogram and get detected for breast cancer. But also some of the other risk factors are having children later in life.
Right.
So women are often pursuing careers, or for whatever reason they're choosing to have children later, which is a common trend across the US. And also more exposure to hormones for hormone replacement therapy are all some of the risk factors considered to be higher in Orange County.
Interesting. Yeah, and I understand just from the doctor we had on yesterday, even with ovarian cancer, having children later, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
But that's what I really find fascinating in that is the reasons that you gave. Being more affluent. Generally, women who are a little more affluent do have kids later in life for whatever reasons.
Exactly.
And also have get checked more often.
Exactly.
So that brings it up. So very interesting. So, you know, we talked about some of the risk factors as far as helping to alleviate getting breast cancer. What about family history? Is obviously that is a big factor. Am I right?
Yeah, so it's, you know, most women come in when they're diagnosed with breast cancer and they often say, why did I get breast cancer? Nobody in my family has breast cancer. So it's actually more common to get breast cancer when you don't have a family history.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the
That's
opposite of what
really-
people think.
Wow.
So 5 to 10% of breast cancers are thought to be hereditary or pass through some genetic mutation in the family. The rest of breast cancer is really just a mix of environmental factors, what we're eating, how we are affected by stress, so many other things that we can't control.
Now, when you look at family history, should the woman also be, you know, they tend to look at their mom
Yeah.
and their mom's mom, but should they also be looking at their father's side as well?
Yes, so genetic mutations, if they are prevalent in the families, can be passed through either the mother's side or the paternal side. So it's important to just understand the types of cancers that run in the family.
Yeah.
So anybody who has multiple family members with breast cancer, especially breast cancer at a young age, or ovarian cancer, are thought to be red flags, and you should really speak with your doctor about whether you might qualify for genetic testing.
Okay, let's talk about when you should get regular testing. Now, obviously, we're here in the village, and so you have an older population. However, a lot of the folks here, when they may be looking at their kids, their grandkids, and want to pass along information to them.
Yes.
I know that it used to be about 40 getting a mammogram every few years, or is that pretty much still the same? How does that progress?
So this is definitely a hot topic.
And before you answer that,
Yeah.
let's talk about just somebody who has no real high risk factors, meaning, you know, family history.
Sure.
Let's just say this is a guide to go by.
So,
and I know it's a hot topic.
I think to help answer this question, breast cancer is much more common than most people think. 1 in 8 women in the United States will develop breast cancer in their lifetime. And these are women that are at an average risk, meaning they have no family history and no other risk factors. So if you break that down, that means the average woman walking around on the street has a 12% risk of developing breast cancer. So it's not a small number.
Yeah.
The first thing to understand is that screening mammograms definitely save lives. The key thing to early detection is if you get a breast cancer at a very early stage, it's often very easily treatable.
Right.
And some of the cure rates are in the 99 to 100%.
Okay.
So the most important thing is the mammograms that will detect your breast cancer. There is some controversy as different confusing guidelines have come out about mammograms. The safest bet is at age 40 is when you should start your screening mammograms. It is recommended still to consider them yearly because of the concept that if you waited 2 years and your cancer is more advanced, you're oftentimes going to need more advanced treatment.
Right.
So other things that women should think about is, again, we talked about family history. So if you have family members that were diagnosed with breast cancer at a younger age, you might be recommended to start mammograms even younger.
Okay.
Or if you had multiple family members with other types of genetic mutations or risk factors.
Now, was the worry in that the radiation is, because why not get a, or maybe it's, you know, how the insurance wants to handle it, but why not get it once a year? And was that sort of the concern while they're getting radiation?
It's part of the concern, but honestly, the amount of radiation you get from a mammogram is the same amount of radiation that you're exposed to flying from the US to Europe.
Okay.
Or even just living on Earth's atmosphere for 1 year. So the radiation is part of it, but really it's also the fact that if you're getting screened more often, that you might be getting unnecessary biopsies or procedures because you're more likely to find things.
Okay.
And so it's hard to balance which is more important, detecting breast cancer at the earlier age, or these unnecessary tests. But I would say that anybody who's been diagnosed with breast cancer is thankful that they got their yearly mammograms and it was caught early.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about the Hoag Healing Breast Cancer Survivor Program. And about we have up on the screen here the Women's Health Institute, which involves breast cancer and ovarian cancer and everything, all the needs involved there. But tell me about the survivorship program that you have.
So I'm very excited to tell you about this because I've been working on this project, Hoag Healing Breast Cancer Survivors. It's actually funded through generous donors in our community to really help women who have been diagnosed with breast cancer get past their diagnosis and move on to a healthier lifestyle. So some of the things we've talked about were exercise and what you're eating and how you handle stress. So we try to focus on some of the reasons why women develop breast cancer in the first place. And we've developed kind of a nice program that helps focus on the emotional and the psychosocial needs of a woman once she's been diagnosed with breast cancer. In traditional healthcare models, you know, we do surgery and we do radiation and chemotherapy really well, but we never really focus on all the emotional factors associated with breast cancer. We have a free event coming up in October, on October 24th. From 5 to 7 p.m. Anybody is welcome. It's focusing on skincare issues related to people who have been diagnosed with breast cancer, fitness, and a mindfulness meditation coach. So we hope everybody can join us.
Where is that going to take place?
It's at Hogue. It's at Hogue in the...
in Irvine or Newport?
Hogue Newport in the conference center.
Okay.
From 5 to 7 p.m. and it's free for anybody who wants to come and learn more.
Very good. That's on the 24th?
24th.
Very nice. Doctor, thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have you back, and maybe it won't, last time but you said, we think it was been about a year, but we'll get you back before then.
Yeah, sounds
Take
great.
care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the information. We'll be right back.
#1 choice for wood flooring and more is LA Carpet.
Now during their 2-day sale, visit their showroom now and get 65% off wood flooring, laminate, and waterproof flooring.
Plus, get 5-year, 0% financing.
LA Carpet, #1 for you.
Crystal Cove State Park is a beautiful coastal property boasting miles of coastline and thousands of acres of wildlife. But behind all that is Crystal Cove Conservancy. I have Alex Dunn, who's the CEO and president of the Crystal Cove Conservancy, here to tell us all about it. Well, thank you for having us out here. What a beautiful piece of property.
Thank you for coming down. So Crystal Cove Conservancy is the only nonprofit operating here at Crystal Cove State Park. And our mission is preservation, conservation, and education, and thinking about the next generation of environmental leaders.
Right, so now preservation, tell me a little bit about how that works here. I mean, there's a lot of land.
Yes, there is, and we do work in the backcountry, which is 2,400 acres, as well as the historic district, which is where you are today. Here we have 46 cottages, of which we've restored. But the educational part is a lot what people don't know that we do here at Crystal Cove. Now, in 1999, the organization was founded to produce a different vision for Crystal Cove State Park. The state park became a park in 1979, but in 1999 there was a vision for a luxury resort here. And the organization was founded on a different vision, which was open public access, so have everyone come to the park and enjoy it. Also education, as well as affordable accommodations on the coast.
So education programs, what kinds of things do you have here?
So we mainly focus in 2 areas. One is marine biology, where students from underserved schools come out on boats. We leave from Newport Harbor, and they go out onto the ocean and they conduct biological experiments. It's all to inspire them to maybe think about science as a career. We also have environmental science in our Morro Canyon and our environmental study loop, where students can come and learn how to do land management. And it's a citizen science program, so they're collecting data that is then used by state parks to make decisions.
And then I know you have some art projects and some crafts and those kinds of things. What's some fun things that people can bring their grandchildren or children to do?
Well, on Wednesdays, we have public days where you can come down and participate in a variety of programs, from sea glass making, so we actually collect sea glass on the beach, and then people can make jewelry for yourself, for your grandchildren, or anyone you want, to really memorialize your day here at Crystal Cove State Park, and with looking around and taking in all the historic, beautiful cottages, but then also taking something with you that you can remember your wonderful day.
So tell me a little bit about Crystal Cove Conservancy. I mean, there's a lot involved, especially, and it's been quite some time that it's been going on.
Well, that's right. So what we do is we are the operations behind the park. So that means a few things. One is the guest services. We take care of the folks that stay with us overnight, and that's managed by Crystal Cove Management Company, which is also part of the Conservancy, and also the food operations here. But then folks can also be part of our education that we have. So remember, it's preservation, conservation, and education, and that's what we focus on here.
So where is Crystal Cove? I mean, I know it's on the beach, but where about?
So Crystal Cove is between Laguna and Newport Coast and Newport Beach, so Corona del Mar. And it's real easy to get here. We have parking for a day use fee, and you can take a shuttle right down to the historic district and then spend the day with us. So take in some of the historic cottages, maybe have a meal at the Beachcomber Cafe or at the Shake Shack up top, or spend the day here at the beach. I mean, it's a beautiful coast. It's also an outdoor classroom for children to explore and be inspired by. And so come on down and be part of what we're doing. You can find out at crystalcove.org on our website. You can also be a member of Crystal Cove Conservancy, and we have a monthly newsletter that talks all about what's happening down in this beautiful community.
And if somebody wanted to donate, how do they do that?
Well, you can donate a variety of ways. One is the website, but if you're not comfortable doing that, you can call the office or come down to cottage number 5, and we'll be here and happy to help you. There are membership brochures throughout the park.
Now, this is a state park, right? So you do have to follow state park rules and regulations, and I'm assuming there's charging for parking and things like that?
That's correct. So we are a state park here, so we have a lot of great things because we are a park. There are wheelchairs to go out on to the beach if that's something that you need. We also have, our paths are nice and wide and very well maintained. There is a day use fee for parking, which is $15, and other than that, you can just enjoy yourself out in this beautiful park.
Now, you said that there are wheelchairs. So what if somebody like had some disabilities? How can they drive down, or how does that work?
So we do have parking at Los Trancos, and we do have ADA parking there. Then there's a shuttle that brings you down to the historic district, so it'll cross over Coast Highway and bring you down to the historic district for a drop-off. And then from there are wheelchairs that you can take into the historic district and out onto the sand.
Well, excellent. Well, thank you so much for the information, and I mean, unbelievably gorgeous down here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm John Bowser Bauman. You probably know me best as Bowser from Sha-Na-Na, but I'm also president of Social Security Works PAC. And you know, when I'm in Laguna Woods, I always watch Village television. Grease for peace.
You just saw a couple of clips from the Dana Point Harbor Boat Parade. I was one of the judges on Saturday night, and I have to say, it was such a blast, and there was so many creative boats. Those two were probably some of my favorites. I had to vote for most original, and the one with the drummer was so awesome. And then, of course, the theme was Western theme. So the second one you saw had to be one of my favorites because they had the full Western theme going. So it was a blast, and I just want to thank Supervisor Lisa Bartlett and Sergio, and then Jim Miller down there at the Dana Point Harbor. It was super fun. So anyway, fun. If you guys missed it, it'll be back big and brighter next year. But then also they still have all of their fun lights down at the Dana Point Harbor, so you can go down and enjoy that. Anyway, our movies today, for Friday, we have at 2 and 7 p.m. is Same Kind of Different as Me. And that is kind of a biography drama, and it's about an international art dealer, Ron Hall, who must befriend a dangerous homeless man in order to save his struggling marriage to his wife, a woman whose dreams will lead all three of them on the journey of their lives, to the valleys, to the mountaintops, to the winds and inner scopes of their minds. And this stars Greg Kinnear, Renee Zellweger, and Digimon Hunso. I probably butchered that, but in any case, that'll be Friday, December 21st at 2 and 7 p.m. And then on, then on Monday, we've got 2 and 6 p.m. Ewan McGregor is in Disney's Christopher Robin, and that is, of course, the adorable animated adventure comedy of Winnie the Pooh. And a working-class family man, Christopher Robin, encounters his childhood friend, Winnie the Pooh, who helps him to rediscover the joys of life. An adult Christopher Robin, who is now focused on his new life, work, and family, suddenly meets his old friend Winnie the Pooh, who returns to his unforgotten childhood past to help him return to the 100-acre woods and help find Pooh's lost friends. And that obviously is a super fun movie, brings back all the memories of Winnie the Pooh. And again, that will be on December 24th at 2 and 6 p.m. Now, a couple of things that we have going on, of course, as we mentioned, the holiday buffet is sold out, so we apologize, you won't be able to do that for Christmas. However, I'm sure there are other things that you can do around town. Then you can also do on New Year's Eve, we've got 2 different things you can do. Rocking New Year's Eve, which is going to be in Clubhouse 5, and that will start at 6:30 p.m. The doors open at 6:30, dinner is served at 7:15, and the music starts at 8. Formal attire dance with a sit-down dinner, and the music is by the Solicious, a Motown tribute band, and the ball will drop at 9 at midnight, so you can celebrate New York time as well as here. The tickets are on sale at the Clubhouse office. Again, if you want any additional information, you can always go to recreation@vmsinc.org. Then they also have Singing in the New Year with James Darren, the Dave Siebels Band. That's at the Performing Arts Center, and that's a little bit different. It's an interactive concert, however, it's a concert nonetheless. And it'll be a 3 p.m. show for $20 to $25, the 7 p.m. show $30 to $40, and then you can have an additional VIP access for $20, which means you're going to have a meet and greet with the band, and then the VIP upgrade is available for the 7 p.m. show only. And for more information, also recreation@vmsinc.org. Now, of course, the holidays can sometimes bring depression and loneliness, and so there are classes and meetings that you can go to that are being offered here in the village. And those are going to be on Tuesdays from 2 to 3:30 p.m. It's already started. There is no meeting on the 25th and January 1st, but you would be able to go to that today, which is from 2 to 2:30. So check that out for more information. And then on our show tomorrow, we have the Senior Center, we have the El Toro Pharmacy, we have Tim Moy, and then the Orange County Fire Authority report. And don't forget, if you're watching our 9:30 program, we will be showing live the 3rd meeting. Have a great day in the village, and we will see you tomorrow.